It seems like every time Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt are photographed together, rumors just start flying about the potential of them getting back together. Of all the famous couples out there, it seems that fans are holding out hope that these two will find their way back together. What if I told you there was a deeper layer to their story that might hold the key for their potential reunion? Well, let's rewind a bit. Fans of Jen and Brad might remember that while married to Jennifer, he was on the set filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith and fell madly in love with Angelina Jolie. This led to a very public breakup for Jen and all kinds of heartbreak. And then I think for years after that, seeing him go on to build a family and all of the pictures that were taken of Brad and Angelina. Now, if we look back at why this kind of heartbreak was so familiar to Jen, it might shine some light on how the breakup went between Brad and Jen. Well, wouldn't you know it? Jennifer's dad is John Aniston, and he was the character Victor Kiriakis of Days of Our Lives. That was a soap opera I loved as a kid. And wouldn't you know it, that fame, that popularity of that soap opera at the time led her dad to really prioritize his career. And he really focused on his character, the show, and put all of his attention there, deciding to step out of the family altogether. Jennifer was estranged from her dad for years and did find a way to come back together with her dad in a really positive, loving way. But there were years of those important times where she was really missing her dad's affection and attention. In many different interviews, Jennifer has gone on to talk about how her dad's prioritization of his work really left deep abandonment scars. And what might have been even more impactful was the very difficult relationship she had with her mom. It was said to be highly tumultuous, and they also had estrangement for many, many years. She went on to explain in different interviews how this left deep, deep emotional scars. We see this play out again for Jennifer in the series of love relationships that either ended, like her and Brad divorcing, or long-term relationships that would kind of fizzle out or end in painful ways, leaving her with this feeling of I can't really count on you, that started out as dad, that ended up being mom, and lived out in her different love relationships. You see, our first love, our parents, create a template or a blueprint for how the rest of our love relationship goes. And we can see in Jennifer Aniston's case, that feeling that she had with dad and mom lived out again in her different relationships. If there are unresolved issues with our parents, they find their way to be played out again in our intimate relationships. So give that some thought for yourself for a moment. What might be unresolved with your mom or your dad that you find yourself reliving in your loving relationship today? Now, if we look at the case of Jennifer Aniston, it wasn't just the infidelity. It was the sense that Brad picked another woman over her, just like that memory of dad picking his career over time with her. And so we see these painful patterns live out and repeat again. After Jennifer divorced Brad, she went on to have other relationships that ended painfully. A short-term relationship with Vince Vaughn, John Mayer, and she married Justin Theroux, who also ended in divorce. There was a sense of, I'm just not so sure I can trust this love and connection business. And so we end up stepping away. We end up not being able to have success in love. When you think of all the wonderful success Jennifer's had over her acting career, yet not in the arena of love. And I would sense it's because of these unresolved emotions, this brokenheartedness that she experienced with mom and dad that are playing out again in her adult loving relationships today. In the work I do with couples every day, we look at 70% of what's going on in the couple, the challenges, the conflicts, all the repetitive arguments. 70% of that comes from each other's family of origin. Until we look at what each side is bringing from their family, we just tend to run circles around the same difficulties, and it might even seem like those conflicts are just on repeat. we've got to understand what they're really connected to and what they're really about. What might be on replay for you inside of your relationship? So I wonder if Jennifer and Brad could uncover what's going on in Jen's early life history, the relationship with her parents. I wonder if they'd find their way back together. I wonder what would be different if they did. But as you're listening to this, most importantly, what's going on repeat in your relationship? What's unresolved from the past that might be carrying over like an emotional hangover? Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave a link below in the comments for a free 20-minute conversation to uncover what's going on in your relationship so you can take a look at it from this systemic approach to understand what's really going on behind the scenes. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to tune into more videos just like this one.